Well, people, just back from a very interesting screening. It was for the new documentary Werner Herzog Radical Dreamer. Right, this is written and directed by Thomas von Steinaecker. It is produced by Andre Singer, Bernard von Holzen, and Maria Willer. It is executive produced by Figs Jackman, Joe Plummer, Chris Smith, Vijay Vadayanathan, and Jennifer Westpaul. It is line produced by Pat Footer and Maria Getsky, and field produced by Liz Elkington. Philip Steggers handles the music, Henning Brumer cinematography, while Volker Scheiner edits the piece. Boris Seawald was on graphic design. And during this thing, we hear from a host of different people. Right. So his wife, Lena Hesberg, she was there. We hear from Christian Bale, Nicole Kidman, Wynn Wenders, Carl Weathers, Robert Pattinson, Patti Smith, Joshua Oppenheimer, Chloe Zhao, Tilbert Hesberg, Werner's brother, Lukik Stepik, Volker Schollendorf, Lottie Esner, Luca Laylor, Guillermo de Oliveira, Thomas Munch, David M. Wilson, Peter Zettlinger, and there's some archival footage as well, like Henry Rawlings doing an interview. It's fascinating. Now, the gist is this: master filmmaker, auteur, poet, truth seeker, explorer, brand meme actor, lauded voice artist, doomsayer, legend. That is Werner Herzog. This is the man, now 81, who had a 320-ton steamboat hauled over a steep hill in Peru with hypnosis, I think. I don't know. His actors climbs down into volcanoes, talks to murderers on death row, cooks and eats his own shoe, and was once shot at. It's these moments, along with other stories, as well as his appearances in everything from The Simpsons to The Mandalorian, that have made Herzog a cult figure in the world over. With exclusive behind-the-scenes access into Herzog's everyday life, rare archive material, and in-depth interviews with the man himself, the celebrated collaborators, including Christian Bale, Nicole Kidman, and his wife, Lena Herzberg, we are given an exciting glimpse into his work process and personal life. Also appearing in the film are Joshua Oppenheimer, Robert Pattinson, Patti Smith, Carl Weathers, Wim Wenders, and Chloe Zhao. So, yeah, that is the gist of it, and it is fascinating. Now, if you're a follower of the podcast, people, you may know why I was slightly late to the screening. Like a conversation that actually it might not have gone out. But yeah, we're having about the Scala documentary. It ran slightly long, but it was great. It was great. Definitely check that one out, people. But yeah, so I turned up slightly late, and it's just they were talking about him eating his shoe, right? That's where I came in, and I was just like, yo, what? Which I'd completely forgotten about, to be honest with you. So there's footage of this, him cooking the shoe on a stage. And yeah, it's from there, we just get all of this footage. He's like traveling around with his wife, and he goes to his old home, right? And he's talking about it, and he's like, how small it was, when they got relocated there, and how his mum was, struggled to feed them at times, but he didn't want to go into the house, right? And you could see this was an emotional thing. Like he wipes his eyes and he's like, I'm not crying because of emotion. Right? But I think you don't necessarily have to be sad to be overwhelmed by a situation. And you do feel that, yeah, the way he was talking about certain things, you could see this like emotion in him. Like we see footage of him talking to his film students, right? And teaching. And it's Herzog just has this way of talking. It's very kind of deadpan, but it's clear he has humor. You know what I mean? Like a student is like, oh, could you tell us about, someone who you regard from your era of filmmaking? He's just like, my era is still happening. I will have you know. It's just, yeah, it's just amusing, and we just have all of these different people contributing and just waxing lyrically about his talent. Now, a lot, and I mean a lot of this is subtitled, which I did not know. I did not know going in. And there's no background behind the subtitles, right? So there's times when you've got this white writing on a white or very light background. So yeah, I can imagine people just struggling with that. Obviously, I couldn't even see what the word said, right? Which was a shame because, there was all of these people just talking about him and talking about stuff. And sometimes you'd have these people talking, and then we cut back to and Herzog even, and it sounded like he's following on from something that they have said, right? So there's bits that I wasn't able to catch, which was definitely frustrating. Definitely frustrating. But it was fascinating, right? There's, I think there was a bit when because he's an director, writer, poet, actor, voice artist. He's opera. He's directed a lot of opera, but yeah, he's done a lot of voice work. And he was voicing a cartoon character, and they were doing something about penguins. And just in this little snippet, just everyone in the room just started, because it was just hilarious. And that's the first time I'd seen it. First time, but it was hilarious. What I did think was interesting though, because the Boondocks was his first bit of voice work, and they don't reference that unless they did at the very start in a bit that I missed. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that that wasn't referenced at all. Now they reference the Simpsons, obviously, right? His work on the Mandalorian, right? I don't think they mentioned the Reacher film he did with Tom Cruise, which the first Reacher film, although it's not really Jack Reacher, right? But it was an enjoyable film. It was an enjoyable, popcorn action film. Like his work on The Mandalorian was very good. But we look at all of this stuff, right? He's looking at this waterfall and being like, this is you know, I resonate with this. My soul is here. And he had no interest of finding out where this started, where the source of the waterfall was, which is very interesting. Because I think a lot of times when you see these things, it's just, oh, I wonder where this starts. Let's track it. Let's track the river. Right? No interest. No interest at all. You know, he's a very interesting guy. Like, it's like, I wish I could fly. It's a travesty I was not an athlete. Right? Just interesting things. Because you just think, with everything he's done, right, that would be enough. But he still has this, this desire to have done these other things, right? Yeah, it's fascinating. Like, it touches on some of his other stuff, like Bad Lieutenant. I didn't like Bad Lieutenant. I thought I was bad. But yeah, it was interesting, because he had Chloe Zhao talking, and just the way he directed and was working with Nicolas Cage, just all of this stuff. I think anyone that is a fan of Werner Herzog will enjoy this. I mean, as long as you can see subtitles, I think yeah, people will enjoy this, and yeah, just find it intriguing because it does cover a lot. Christian Bale had a lot of heartfelt things to say about the man. You know, it's yeah, very intriguing. Now, it will be hitting cinemas in the UK and Ireland, right, on the 19th of January, this Friday. And the Blu-ray and DVD will be dropping on the 19th of February. Okay, so you can check those things out. Now, the other thing, people, right? So on Friday as well, the he's filmed The Enigma of Caspar Hauser, right? Which is having its 50th anniversary, will be hitting cinemas as well. So you can not only do a deep dive on Werner, but you can see one of his early films, right? This was from 1974. Now, I was invited to a screening, but that film is straight, subtitled. So I unfortunately I couldn't do that, but you can. You can. So if you are a Werner Herzog fan, boom, you can yeah, find out a lot about the man, find out what others think of the man, and then also consume some of his classic work, right? And remember, people, the DVD and Blu-ray will be dropping on the 19th of February. So yeah, I think anyone that is a fan, if you enjoy these type of documentaries, I think this will be one for you. So yeah, there you go. Werner Herzog, a radical dreamer.